So my name is Piotr Gacek. I'm the operations manager of the Delphi Krakow GBS O2C team. So I'm last today. I hope you're still alive, and I promise I'll be quickly through my 46 or 47. Actually, I added last minute, so it will be pretty quick. One of the topics we wanted to cover here is how GBS brings value. I think everybody covered it in their presentations. I'm not going to go through that in details. Takeaway is that actually I think 90% of the stuff are the same across the whatever technology you're in, whatever industry you're in. Just maybe wanted to mention one thing is that what Dean mentioned about how can you go further with the GBS expansion when you've done your labor arbitrage, and then this is the wall you're hitting, for example, how to bring in low-cost countries if you have businesses in low-cost countries. So all the things, and then I wanted to highlight the smart enterprise, a nice wording for different technology things like self-billing EDI. This is the things which we are expanding on, and having more scope within GBS allows you to do those things in larger scale, so to add a value to the business. For example, introducing EDI invoicing across the globe or across the region, across all the divisions. This is regardless if this is in our scope or not. And compliance is another thing. This is one of the topics which we are using to convince divisions bosses in the company to say, well, actually, guys, you really need to be in GBS. There's no labor arbitrage, but we can bring you saving with this. We can give you more compliance using standard processes, etc. So this is kind of, well, you cannot use the labor arbitrage card, right, with all the regions in the world. One of the things I mentioned in the previous slide is the metrics. So just wanted to give you an example of how having a global GBS organization, you can impact metrics. So one of the things that we've been working on, trying to work on is not only your standard metrics for your order to cash teams, past dues, I don't know, rate of cash application, aging, right? Also, let's look at the DSO. And the questions we often got is how the GBS teams can impact DSO. You can impact a fraction of it, which is the past due, of course, which is the daily work of the cash collection team. But how can you impact the rest of the DSO, right? So that the length of from when you issue a bill until when a customer actually pays you, everything which is in the current bucket, how can you impact that? Well, actually, there are some things you can do. I'm not going to go into all the details, but well, the key is, of course, to have analyze your data, and couple of hints. First of all, understand your customer's payment terms in details. For example, if you have a next 60 days, does it really mean that customer will pay you on the 61st day after you issue invoice? No. There's a complexity to that. There is a payment run. Is it weekly? Is it every month? It does impact DSO. And I think the biggest, the most important thing that we focused recently, I would call it's even a low-hanging fruit. If the payment day is impacted by the invoice receipt date, in this case, anything that goes wrong in the billing process does impact the payment date. So if you have a huge sales, high-volume customer, which in contract specifically says that the payment date is, let's say, next 60 days from the date of receipt of the invoice, then you might be in trouble if you have a problem in the billing process. This is what we actually experienced. And this is the first biggest customer that we identified that we want to work in terms of DSO. Again, if you have customers like this, then you have to be really careful. So that this is the message that we are passing to our teams. Identify those customers, understand your payment terms, not only how long are there, but all the specific details, contractual details. Get a contract, find what's exactly written in the small letters there regarding what's the trigger for the payment date. This is extremely important for the DSO, and we have some success here. And another thing that you can do. Analyze your payment terms also across the portfolios. So especially having the global data, having the global view in your workflow system, you may find out, and we did have instances like that there is a given customer group with standard terms, let's say 45 days, and for some reasons you find out that you have accounts in given region, in given PBU with longer terms. Why is that? You can always challenge sales guys and say, are these really the right terms? And we also had examples when we managed to challenge that and actually change the payment terms to the standard ones per customers. Again, I'm not going to go through all that. Just wanted to highlight two key points which I think are most important. The second point, the predictive analytics, and especially the forecasting tools. When we build our collection process, we all wanted to make it, we call it a proactive collections, right? We don't start chasing invoices once they're due or get overdue. We started at least a month before they're due. We have very, very tight metrics targets set up by our management, so we needed to set up a proactive cash collection process. And one of the best things that we implemented that proved working is forecasting. So even weekly forecasting that would show you where you would be by end of month. And if you share it with your counterparts, especially with the functions which are helping you the most, should help you with, meaning sales. And if you have their buy-in into the process, meaning they know that this is also their target, if you manage to convince them and convince their bosses that it should be in their, yearly review, then you really can make the difference. And we have examples of that. When we do have a buy-in from sales, we do have a good forecasting process. It really does help to work with to manage the final metrics. And second thing, dispute management process. This is something that we were struggling for a very, very long time. Automotive industry, I think, like any other high volume production industry, is one of the biggest challenges is dispute management. So here, just a few words. Standard cash collection workflow tool. This is the key, and standard processes. This is the key. Plus the buy-in from the function. Sales, PCNL in our case, and quality. These are the three main functions to which cash collection team needs to provide a meaningful, detailed data that will tell you where is the problem, what you guys haven't done, where you have age disputes that you need to work on. This is something that we are focusing in last years, months especially. We are, I would say, in the middle of this journey, but it's already proving that it's the right way to do, and definitely this will be our focus, apart from all other things that all you guys mentioned, automations and all that. Okay, I promise I'll be short. So I think I'll leave you with that, and then if you have any questions later on, I'll be here around. So thank you very much.